Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and the corruption of the music industry continues. Let's talk about it and have a conversation. Unfortunately though, due to the current state of the algorithm, social media discourse, any and all conversations, especially on important topics these days, are fragmented as hell. Meaning that while important issues are getting talked about and addressed, they're never getting collectively addressed all at the same time. Take, for example, Rick Beato, big shout out to Uncle Rick, who recently made a splash on social media where he kind of went over the fact that it is very difficult and damn near unaffordable to be a working class musician in the music industry these days, leading to this influx of Nepo babies on every level of the industry because, of course, with the way that things are economically and with the state of the industry, the only way you can really make it or make money in the industry is to come into it already with money. Now, sidebar, that's not putting down any one particular artist's art, and of course there are some amazing bands and acts out there these days that are not Nepo affiliated. But since Rick dropped that video, lo and behold, now this is a huge topic everybody's thinking about now. And now I'm seeing numerous music commentators do videos about it on YouTube, despite the fact that over here we've been talking about this problem for a minute. Personally, I blame it on social media and algorithms kind of narrowing the tastes and exposures of content consumers of all types and stripes, slowing down the bubbling up of certain topics and broader discourse on conversations that we need to have, especially with regards to music. And I think another example of this is served in this recent Trevor Noah podcast clip, which we will show you right now.
Things started changing with streaming, with social media, with all of that, because now labels couldn't dictate it the same way. But they have found something that's been really effective now, and that is, and I think Drake did this for his latest album.
Yes,
it's pretty brilliant.
Yeah.
They've gone out to everyone online, not just like quote unquote influencers.
Mm-hmm.
They got you join this platform. I forget the name of the platform. And essentially it sells the services of just the people online.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is I can come on there and say, as Trevor, I have a campaign that I want to launch. I have $10,000 and I pay it to the service. The service then goes out to everyone who signed up to it, who's just a regular person online, and says to them, hey,
Play the song.
Find a way to play the song, find a way to make this campaign go viral, and we pay you per view. So you don't pay people who failed. It creates a false idea of what trends
It's popular. That's right.
because now you've paid people to make a trend, and because everyone's trying to chase the money, it makes it seem like there's a trend when there is no trend.
So there you have it, Trevor Noah addressing what is an ongoing problem in the music industry right now, a discussion, some discourse that was very much opened up by the accusation that the band Geese is a psyop, which when I did a video about this, I very much addressed the fact that the band's music being good or being popular with people and whether or not they and their PR actively engaged in a campaign to essentially flood the zone of the indie scene online with clips of their music and live performances and so on and so forth. These are two totally different things. That does not mean the popularity of Geese is fake. If it was, I don't think the band would be selling out venues because they very much are. And also, if you recall in that video, I talked about that it is very much a function of TikTok as an app to be able to go on there as a musician, as an artist, a promoter of all sorts of things, and essentially pay people to engage in campaigns on the platform to make videos using a song or a clip of a track, do a dance, make a joke, record a skit, create a trend, whatever it is you need to do in order to bring traffic to that video and secondarily to the song you are using for that video on TikTok, which in turn creates this faux organic sensation of like, wow, people must really like this song if they're constantly making videos where they're dancing to it or doing this particular trend around it. When in fact, no, the reason they're doing it is because they're all sort of like competing for a little potluck of money at the end of the rainbow, which is essentially also the case when it comes to platforms like clipping.net, which runs by essentially the same business model, however, much more favored by figures in the streaming industry who are looking for their fans or people who are just willing to make a quick buck to take clips of their stream, edit them down, post them to social media, and then come back around once they have generated some kind of traffic, a notable amount of traffic, and then use those numbers to get payment. A certain amount of dollars per 100,000 streams, something like that, as Trevor Noah said. Now, with the everyday saturation and competition for attention we are seeing on social media for content types of all kinds, of course, this model is also being adopted by the music industry. Wouldn't you be surprised? Apparently, Drake is also engaging in this too behind Iceman. In fact, at the time of me recording this video, I was able to go on the front page of clipping.net, where one of the first campaigns that you're hit with when you scroll down is a Drake Iceman campaign. Something Drake's social media mouthpiece proxy, DJ Academics, even had to acknowledge on his stream.
Yeah, me, Drake, and Aiden Ross, we are not in a racket, okay? We're not engaged in racketeering. I think we just understand the internet and know how the new age of promotion is for whether it's his album, whether it's for my stream, is a little bit different. And also, just to address, because I did do, you say did some digging, I did some digging too about what Trevor Noah said. Apparently, they are doing some clipping that is related to Drake. That's not botting, that's promotion. But it's not Drake paying for it. Apparently, Drake said something about one of these companies. I don't know if it's Polymarket or whatever. They're so excited that Drake gave them a shout out. They put a budget behind people trying to highlight in the music them. So really, it looks like Drake's music is getting free promo, or Drake is getting free promo because some other company shouted out. So,
not only does this clip sound like total BS just from the outset, because what do you mean a company like Polymarket is actually paying for this campaign out of the goodness of their hearts because Drake mentioned them on a song? The way Drake and his team very clearly network propagandistically between all of these different pages online, rap pages, streamers, so on and so forth. The coordination is so bad, multiple pages just posted a fake story about Drake declining the Grammys, begging him to submit the three very mid albums he just dropped for consideration by the Academy. The Grammys are not doing that. That is not how the industry works, and any music page that's worth a damn would know this. Again, the coordination is so clear and so obvious, there's no way in hell there is an active clipping campaign for anything involving Iceman with Drake and his team just being like, wow, I can't believe they would do that. That's so cool. That's so chill of them. What, didn't even know that was happening. But yes, as annoying as it is to see this conversation roll out in a frustratingly slow way, it is in fact true. Drake and the industry are adopting social media promotion tactics that have been, for the most part, pioneered by streamers in order to draw attention to their music. Now look, at the end of the day, am I personally angry over this business model? Not necessarily, because advertising in the music industry has always existed in some way, shape, or form, and with the state of social media being what it is currently, it's nearly impossible for any artist, even a big artist, to break through the noise that we're seeing online on any given day. Even Lizzo recently took to social media to talk about this very problem.
The algorithm-based way that social media functions now is destroying the music industry. Now, when I say the music industry, I don't mean music culture. I don't mean the good music that's out. I don't mean our ability to connect via social media to music. I'm talking about the actual industry that allows artists to sell their music for profit. Back in the day, which was maybe even just 5 years ago, we used to get things chronologically. I have a private page with over 280,000 people who follow me because they support me, because they love me. But even when I post on that page, I'm not hitting their algorithm. And I get accused of not promoting my album when I'm doing morning shows, podcasts, Netflix specials, dropping the packaging, dropping the cover, doing my part. And listen, I'm gonna be okay. I'm a big girl. I'm a very successful woman. I have a loyal fan base. I'm saying this to bring awareness to where we're headed. It is deeply concerning, you guys.
And while, yes, you could make the argument that maybe a lot of her new music and promo isn't hitting because the songs themselves aren't good, I have no doubt, though, that there are people out there who actually do enjoy Lizzo's music and get something out of it, who aren't being serviced her content or her album announcements, because we are seeing the same issues day in and day out over here on this channel in the broader The Needle Drop social media apparatus, where compared to the amount of exposure a more obscure or underground review might have gotten back in 2017, 2018, it's pretty night and day, honestly, with a lot of our traffic being narrowed down mostly into the videos where we're talking about the most viral, most popular trending topics. And I can imagine if you're an artist and you're not a part of one of those trends or don't really have a way to hop on one of these waves, you're going to be struggling to get your music in front of people who might actually like it. So no, I don't totally fault artists, especially smaller artists, for wanting to give into this model of promotion. However, from what we've been seeing so far, the artists who most likely have the money to pony up for one of these clipping campaigns are going to be artists who are already popular, already well established, already have money. And on top of that, the added terrible element to all of this is that a lot of this promo masquerades as like real engagement and real discourse from fans, which further toxifies and makes very difficult normal, average, everyday music discourse because you can't really tell what's real and what isn't. Further proof that in order for real music community and culture to happen, I think music fans need to be searching out alternative lanes and platforms and avenues for discourse and talking about music, turning each other on to music. Because more and more every day, most of these social media platforms, when it comes to music, are becoming pay for play. And could some good music be promoted or shown to you by virtue of that model? Sure. But that doesn't mean you're being shown it because it's a true reflection of what audiences want. Let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments. I'm sure you will. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Shout out once more to Trevor Noah. Shout out to Rick Beato, Lizzo, Anthony Fantano, music, clipping, forever.